do it.
Good morning, New Westminster. Good morning, Surrey. How you doing? It's morning somewhere. Oh man, so now I gotta move the belt and stuff.
Well, I wanted to
oh, cool.
have that for you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
There we go. Sorry.
That's all good. That's all good. I can do this, and then we can do this. So
There we go.
perfect. How's that?
That was good.
Not too shabby. Cool.
Yeah. There we go.
I can even hide my water and everything. Look at that.
It really doesn't, but I mean, you could think it does. So,
First of all, Daniel, thank you for having me here, brother.
oh well, no, thank you for coming. It's been a while. We've been
you know
every
what?
week. He's like, we're still doing this, right? Yes, we are. Yes.
Well, I just want to make sure because it's Sunday. Because if I'm not here, I'm floating.
Oh yes.
So
What is floating?
floating is you just go to this deprivation tank. So I go to this place in South Surrey, and it's a great place to relax. It's a great place to kind of soothe your muscles. So yeah, I'm huge on rest and recovery. So floating is one of those things. So on Sunday, like for instance, today, I got my massage earlier, got that done, did some PMF therapy, and usually I'd be going floating, but I'm on the CloseLook podcast with you. So
Don't sound so excited.
I'm stoked. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so we're just so many places to start,
Right.
But let's start with Royal City Wrestling.
Sure.
What happened?
What do you mean?
We were. I want to say we, but you were everywhere. The show Royal City Wrestling was everywhere.
Right.
Right. And now it's done great things for the community. You got the mayors involved, and I say mayors because Burnaby. If we had kept going,
Yeah.
Burnaby would have been a part of RCW. It would have been pro RCW.
Well, they would have been a part of RCW, or they would have been the arch nemesis for RCW. I don't know.
That's okay. Regardless, it would have been fun. But yeah, you included the mayor. You had Peter Julian,
PJ Justice, baby.
PJ Just. Yes,
Yeah.
it's just so many things. Why?
What?
Why?
I know what you mean. Like,
What's going on?
Yeah, I'll tell you, brother. Like,
There
you
we
know
go.
what? We had the World City Rumble. That was absolutely fantastic.
great.
We had Rumble Month. We had all of New West there. And as you said, we had Johnny X Cote. We had the World City Defenders, and not just Mr. India and Johnny X, but we had the entire city being Royal City Defenders. Right? So that was all fantastic, and I love that. And you know what? For me, Daniel, it was such a privilege to be able to do that. And you were there every step of the way.
It was great.
Right? And then just to have, like, especially the kids, right? And then to see the community involved, the businesses, like everyone came together. Everyone came together and we made magic happen. Like, we made the front page of the newspaper, not once, but what?
Over and over.
I know, over
Every
and
week.
over again.
It's like, did we do anything this week? No, but we're in the paper.
We're in the
Okay.
paper. We're in the paper. And it's cool because, like, it's bringing New West to the forefront. Like, right there. There we are again. There we are again. We've got this amazing mayor. And talk about leading by example. This man gets in the ring. No mayor has ever done that before, yet he did.
Yep.
Right. And then it was amazing. And then, yes, after that, like, what was it? You kind of said it was just like kind of like a stone cold silence, right? I'll tell you guys what happened. So basically, like, even before, like, when we started Royal City Wrestling, and I was the All-Star Wrestling Heavyweight Champion back then, I suffered a really bad concussion. And this happened in Maple Ridge with one of my opponents back then, Moondog Manson. And it's just like in wrestling, these things happen, concussions, right? But my challenge is I've got a history with concussions. And when I first started wrestling, I had a really bad concussion, and that almost actually prevented me from ever wrestling again. And anyways, to make a long story short, I did come back. But if anybody knows about head injuries, if anybody knows about, like, if you've experienced anything like this, when you get it, it's just, you suffer from something called a post-concussion syndrome, and you get sad, you get depressed, you feel anxiety. These are the symptoms that you feel. But anyways, even through, like, when we first started Royal City Wrestling, this is what was happening. And, it's one of those things where sometimes you wake up and you're like, hey, what the heck? You just don't feel like doing anything, but you still have to. Right.
Yeah.
And then luckily, I mean, like, for me, like, me, Daniel, like, I'm a bit of a health nerd. I'm a fitness nerd.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge,
tad, yeah.
right? So I'm always trying to, figure out biohack, like, what's the best way I can cure this? What's the best way I can do this? So, like, I meditate, I do all this stuff, but at the same time, like, you got to take some time off, and I never did, right? And then, like, we had Royal City Wrestling, we had the Rumble, and then pretty much, I'm not sure if something happened to me in that match or if it was just like, just a long time worth of owies, but yeah, pretty much after a couple of weeks, I couldn't, like, really move my right arm. I started feeling tingles in my fingers.
I remember that. Yeah.
That's when all that stuff happened. Pretty much like a week after the Rumble.
It was
Right.
poor timing.
It was insane. And just all of a sudden, I can even, like, lift this right arm properly. And, like, I'm like, why am I feeling pins and needles? And it wasn't just my right arm. It started going, like, up and down the side of my body. And like, it wasn't just like down my leg, but going up all the way here. Like I'm biting my tongue. I'm like, things are hurting up here. It wasn't good. Right. And then I still had commitments, with the city, and I'm going to, keep those. But the thing is this, like I felt pain before, Daniel. Like I felt pain. You know how it is.
Wow.
You're a wrestler.
Yeah.
We live with it. This is what we do. Yeah. And on a scale of 1 to 10, you may be living with, say, a 3, 4, and that's doable. And even for us, like, nobody should be living with a 3 or 4, but that's, we're used to that.
Yeah, pain is different. Yeah,
pain is different, right? And then, but this was like, it was a whole different pain, and it was like, like when it was like a 7, 8, 9. And then like, to the point where talking is difficult, and like, putting your whole, the whole thought process is difficult. Like that's not a fun pain. And then when you still have to go out, you still have to teach, you got to perform, you got to do what you got to do, and you're not yourself, it's not good.
It's hard.
It is. It's super hard. It's super hard. And like, and you're used to doing all this stuff, and, you're like, all right, no problem. I can do this. I do this all the time. But when you're in that situation, in that state, sometimes you begin to doubt yourself. Right. And like, even if you've like, super confident, you do all this, and I've done this before, it's just like, wait a second, am I actually performing? Am I actually to my best? Right. Because I've got, kids watching, and this is what I do, and I love what I do. But if I'm not giving them my absolute best, whether I'm in the ring or whether I'm hosting a show or whatever it is, then I don't feel right. Yeah. And then like, we did these events, and I never actually wrestled.
No.
It
was a while. Yeah, because I was doing all your wrestling for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I appreciate that, because the volcano jumped in there and he took care of business.
You didn't see people like Azim and Christopher Ryzik in there.
No, that Azim the Dream, anyways. But that's a whole different story. But yeah, so that's what it was. And basically, like, I was hosting events, I was doing all this, and what I loved too, it wasn't just wrestling, and you saw that. Like, yes, we did Pride, we did BC Recovery Day, we did these events there. But then, like, we had the privilege of like working with the mayor and the council members, and we got to go bowl with the youth ambassadors. We got to bowl with the firefighters. Well, let me just rephrase that. We got to bowl. We kicked their butts is what we did.
I also want to clarify, it wasn't like bowling. It was lawn bowling.
My apologies. Yes, it was lawn bowling. And
it was riveting stuff.
It was amazing. And then, but I mean, like, heck, it was an amazing game, but, we kicked butt there. And then I think what it was is it was the tug of war. Right. And I said, like, this is pretty much like, the last pretty much event I'm going to do, because I was even, throughout those last couple of months, like I was feeling it. And then like, you're in pain and you're out there doing your best to perform, but it's not really you, and I knew that wasn't really me. And I am so okay being a loud, fun Fijian. I don't like being a loud, obnoxious one. And I feel that's what was happening. And so I just took myself out of the game, and I went home, to Koyabell, and I had to heal myself, because, if there's one thing I know about, it's pain. If there's one thing I know how to get rid of, is pain. The only challenge is, the doctor knew that it was a nerve issue. He knew that it was a trapped nerve. We just didn't know where the heck it was. And like, how it is here, you got to wait for your ultrasounds, all that jazz. Right. So
you often say our medical system is not.
Oh, I say it all the time. It's a giant rib. It's horrible. It's, don't even like that. That'll be a whole different show, brother.
I want to see if I can get him out of it.
Different show, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Why do I even have these on? My apologies. But yeah, that's what was going on. And then it was only a couple of weeks ago that we actually figured out that it's actually in the back of the neck. And what is it? It's called osteoarthritis. And it's just from repeated boom,
shots
boom, booms.
Or bumps to the back. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, right? So, and then what I started doing is like I do PMF therapy, as you know. We do all these things for rest and recovery and rapid recovery. And I just needed to know exactly what it was. So here I am, I lay on this magnetic field mat. I do this first, and then I actually take the attachment. I'm putting it on my neck, and the way that it attaches, kind of like this.
Is that the circle ones?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the Omni Spot, right? So you like it because it covers my mouth. So I'd be like this, right?
Don't complain.
But yeah, I started doing that, and then all of a sudden I'm able to do this. This is all easier now. And then one thing I noticed is it was a lot less tingles. I'm actually feeling a little bit more, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm able to do more, because up until maybe 3 weeks ago, I probably only had a 40% grip on this hand. And it just...
I remember that, yeah.
Like you saw me, that's why I haven't been gripping heavy bells or doing any of that, right? And then you saw me, had to change my routine up. We're putting some Bollywood stuff in there. We're putting some funky, some body weight in there. And that's what we've been doing, but that's the reason why. right? So now it's like, slowly coming back, and I've actually put on, I think, like 7 pounds in the last 3 weeks.
So with all this behind you, now that you know what you have to deal with and how to take care of it,
Yeah.
is RCW still in the rear view, or is it
RCW, this is all right.
Hey,
It's all good. It's all good. All right, RCW, Royal City Wrestling. Up until now, like, we've had shows like, March, January, whenever we've had our shows. But if you take a look at the NHL has their seasons, right? The NFL has their season. Major League Baseball has their season. So it's going to be the same thing with Royal City Wrestling. And our season begins when? It begins pretty much street festival time, summertime, baby, in New West, because that's the way we roll. When you start seeing Pride, BC Recovery Day, that's when our season starts. Now, go ahead and ask me, when does your season end?
when does our season end?
I'm glad you asked. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a good time is pretty much towards the end of the year. Like, not like December, because December gets busy. We got Christmas, all that jazz. Plus Santa Claus is in the mall, and we don't have to want to go there and, give Santa Claus a flying doomsday or something like that. Just frowned upon. But I'm kind of thinking, maybe November is a good month to do, say, Rumble Month. What do you think about that?
In November?
In November. And then we finish off with Rumble Month. We finish off strong. And then, boom, we get ready once again for next year.
I like that. That's
Right?
good.
Right? But my whole thing is, with World City Wrestling, Daniel, when we first started, you know what it was? It's, yes, we're bringing New Westminster together. Yes, we're bringing wrestling to New West and all that jazz. But if you take a look at our fans are not wrestling fans.
No.
No, it's not like, at All-Star Wrestling at ECCW, we got some amazing hardcore wrestling fans there. With us, well, what do you tell me? What are our fans?
It is mostly families that are looking for just fun entertainment to take their kids to.
Yeah.
And people who cannot afford to take them to ASW or ECC, not to try to knock on anybody.
Or WWE,
or WWE,
or
yeah.
really any type of entertaining event.
Yeah.
Even let's just say a movie at Silver City, or
$8 is a ticket to the movie.
$8, isn't it like $12.50 now? Whatever Landmark.
I'm thinking Tuesdays.
Tuesdays. All right,
cheap. I'm going cheap.
That's cool.
Cheap.
But that's just it. For a family to go out nowadays, it's $150, and I'm sorry, that's groceries. That's feeding, our kids type thing, right? So, and what we had the privilege of doing is we got to put these shows on, and it brought people together. And it wasn't just bringing them together, but they were entertained, and it wasn't the wrestling thing. It was the show and how we did it.
I'd like to say thank you to everybody who's watching. Amanda, I see Azim has entered the room.
Azim?
The show. That's it. The show's done
because
now.
we're talking Rose City Wrestling, and he's saying, "Oh no, we're not wrestling until pretty much summertime." And
Damn it, we have seasons now.
we have seasons in wrestling. What?
Damn it.
Oh, sorry.
Alex, hello. Chantel, hello.
Hi, Chantel.
William, hello. Vanessa, hello. Jeez.
What's up, Vanessa? We got some people on today.
Everybody, yeah.
I love it. What time are we going till? Midnight?
Ah, jeez. I was thinking at least 6 a.m. next day.
6
Chelsea's
a.m.?
going to have to redo her hair. Hang on. Speaking of people calling, it seems like we got a call. I'm going to see if this all works out here. Hello?
You actually have somebody calling
Hello?
in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so it's not just anybody.
It's Azim
me,
right now.
the all-American
I can't hear him.
Azim.
You can't. Hang on, Azim. Hang on. Can we try to get him on a headphones? Hang on. You know what? For now, here you go.
All right.
I won't be able to hear it. So you'll be able to.
I could have had. Now, can the people back listening, can they hear what's going on?
Yeah. They'll hear
All right,
it.
cool. Hey, Azim the Dream.
Don't you Azim the Dream?
Hey, Azim the Dream. Azim the Dream. This is Mr. India. You just called into the Close Look. You just called into Sweet Culture to interrupt our amazing interview, our conversation that we're having here. What do you have to say?
Once you guys mention my name, first of all, Mr. India, keep my name out your dirty mouth, okay? Or else I'm going to come down there and punch you right in the face where you deserve it.
Why are you so angry? Why is this man always so angry, Daniel?
Because he doesn't PMF. He doesn't go to the floats. He doesn't join Koyabell. He just
I think he's got abnormally high levels of cortisol. This guy is always so angry.
There you guys go again, trash talking me on this social media platform. I'm sick of it, okay? I'm sick of it since last year when you humiliated me in that mall at RCW. You and that stupid mayor and that loser city of yours. I'm sick of it.
Hey! First of all, we're not a loser city. We are actually a championship city. We're a team of winners. We are New Westminster, and they say New West is the best for a reason because what we do is we kick butts like yours. All right, whether it's myself
In the cheating U.S. fashion style you do, yes, you guys cheated your way, cheated us, Team USA, out of a victory at the Royal City Mall there.
It's interesting. It was almost like a month, actually a year ago, where we had the Royal City Rumble and the Rumble Month, and you and your partner, and I believe back then you were the champ, and your partner Christopher Rysick. I remember, you took my rock bottom from me, and then you took Johnny X's stunner, and you had no way of actually helping your partner who got pinned 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, I think he was even. It was a figure 4, and it was a Princey pin. Holy smokes. And you know what? Nowhere to be seen. Azim the Dream and your new winners, the Royal City Defenders. And that's, I believe, how it went down. Does that ring a bell, Azim the Dream?
I hope you enjoyed that little moment, you and that stupid mayor in that loser city of yours, because that's not going to happen again. Once Royal City Wrestling starts up again, Team USA, the great Americans that Rysick and I are, we're going to come back. We're looking for revenge. And you know what, Mr. India? I'm going to take it all on you and your loser city and your stupid friend Dan there. I got to smack him in the face, too.
I'll referee that match.
All right. Well, Azim the Dream, if that's the case, I look forward to it. I am ready. Johnny X is ready.
Shine that
all of New Westminster is ready. All right. Don't sing it. Bring it.
Just tell me when and I'll be there.
Anytime, son. I believe it's summertime. Is that what's going to happen?
Summertime's
yeah,
the season,
that's our season.
You guys are going to get it. You guys,
I thought it was done. I thought
city
that was the cutoff over
going
there.
down.
Can we just cut him off? What happens?
We can
over
cut
here?
him off.
Can we just give him the CM Punk?
I just have to
the old
there. He's cut
pipe
off.
bomb.
I
Wow,
hung
look
up
at
on
that. There we go.
That's
Oh,
how it all
Mr. is ready.
goes
All
here.
right. Don't sing it.
Bring
We've
it.
got wrestlers calling in
Just
over
tell me
here.
when
It was a year ago, and he's still so bitter that he got his
super
butt
bitter.
kicked. Holy smokes!
Jeez.
It doesn't make any sense. Well,
That
it
was
does. I mean,
intense.
it
I've
was-
never had somebody do that on our show before.
where somebody just kind of
I
called
didn't.
in.
I didn't know how to handle that. I'm not wearing a mask and a cape, so I don't know how to.
Do you normally wear a mask and cape, eh? So, do people know what's going on over here? Are we, totally breaking kayfabe? Folks, kayfabe is something in wrestling where back in the day, Mr. India would have to be always like this. Hi, Mr. India. Can I get a little curl down? I was trying to do the little Superman Clark Kent curl, right? But yes, moving forward, it's Mr. India, Coach Rish, Mr. India, Rish Koya. I guess kayfabe is pretty much done.
dead.
Sorry, Michelle Starr. If Vince McMahon and Triple H can go on there and say, hey, you know what? We did this, we did this, we did this. And they did their angle well, right? But at the end of the day, when they come to our shows, for those 2 hours, you got that suspended disbelief. You know, hey, this is amazing. This is all real. And this is happening in front of me. And holy smokes, I've never seen anything like this. And that's our Royal City Wrestling shows.
It is real, and you know what the amazing thing is? We are. I love this part because we live stream everything.
Yes. Thanks to you.
But nobody
Dustin
else
and Carrie.
But the thing is, nobody else is able to do that unless they have Tommy Dreamer money or NXT money. Nobody else can do that.
It's true.
That's what else makes us special about
But
it.
and really quickly, you talk about trailblazing over there. It wasn't just that. We've done so many things, right? And we were so blessed to have the partners that we've had. You take a look at the Dr. Drews and the Royal City Manual Hells and just everyone that's worked with us. Talk about a team. And each time we went there and we recorded our promos, we're doing these things on the fly. And a lot of these folks, even with us, it's always new. It's always different. But just to have, when we go and, with Stefania at Mindful Months.
Mindful Months, yeah.
Right? It's just so much fun because you see, that it factor come out in people. And I just absolutely love it.
I'm gonna say my favorite memory of what I have, and then we'll kind of move on.
Sure.
But I think one of my favorite ones that we did was the one with the Connection app, where we were at the round table.
Oh, with Arnold.
Yeah, the round table. That was,
Not when we went up the escalator and Edna
the
kind of
round
got in the
table.
way and hey, I'll disconnect you guys. Not that one?
No.
Okay.
No, the round table one.
Oh, the round table
Yeah,
one.
where
Yeah,
we
well,
sat.
you on one side, me
Yeah.
on the other side.
That was a good one. I like that.
It's too bad we can't pull this up and say roll the footage.
It would be.
Where's our Titantron? Hey, Simi, where is our Titantron?
I didn't have that. I had Koyabell stuff ready. I didn't have Royal City Wrestling stuff ready. So moving. So before we do though, how did the idea of Royal City Wrestling come about? Were you on the toilet one day? And I was like, well.
First of all, I never like to talk about toilet talk. That's just, rude. And secondly, you know what? It's something that I've always honestly wanted to do. Like I love my city. And, for me to have the privilege to run an actual wrestling show, to be able to entertain, our people, I jumped at it. So when I had the opportunity and they said, hey, you know what? We can do this in our mall. And I'm like, what? Right? So went there, checked it out. And then that's when we did the Royal City Takeover.
Yep.
And that was during Uptown Live a few years back.
8 hours.
8 hours. That's what it was. It was a crazy all day tournament. We had matches going on every 8 hours of insanity. Right. And then we actually had the show for the last 2 hours, still finished by 8 p.m. Right. And I remember that night because I wrestled for All-Star Wrestling in Cloverdale the night before and, defended the title for All-Star. And here I am at 2 o'clock in the morning looking for the championship bell. And I think Bambi or Matt Static or somebody had it. I still never found the bell. Didn't and even that night, because they were grabbing things, right? And then even that night, I didn't get any sleep. So, got the quick workout in the morning, I'm working with Dave and yourself and you guys were all setting up and we had to be there early.
Yeah, 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
I was there at 9 a.m.
You were there at 9. I got there 9:30, I think. Did I bring you a coffee?
More like maybe 4 hours later, but it's okay.
Indian Fijian time, 9:30 to 11:45, same thing. But that's that's the way it went down. But I mean, what an amazing show that day, though, and we pulled it off.
Oh yeah, I remember weeks leading up to that. I remember it very differently than that. It's Dustin and I remember we pumped out what is it
promo after promo
promos and in no time. Yeah, it was insane. But yeah, no, the payoff, once everything was said and done, it was cool to see the response that we did get from the city of New West. And, it was great. I love meeting, and no offense to the fans that we do have.
Yeah.
But I love meeting new people because they have new experiences. They're like, oh, I didn't even know there's local wrestling. And it's and we were the first ones. So we were kind of like a Vaughnville kind of thing. We had different things happening.
Yeah. No, I mean, you always got to change things up because normal is boring. And really, what is normal? It's in the eye of the beholder, really. But I mean, after that Royal City Takeover, we had a couple other shows, right? We had the Brawl at the Mall show. Then we had the first Royal City Rumble, right? And even you take a look at Johnny X's, really, the way he went up the ladder. He came in out of nowhere as this referee that just ran in from the audience. And that no good Azim once again trying to cheat, do his thing, right? And he's a referee. And then he comes in.
I do have Johnny K.
Yeah, I mean, look at him, right? And then next thing you know, he's my manager. And then the natural evolution, of course, he's got to defend the Royal City. So there he is, the Royal City Defender. You know what the best part is? I remember about probably 4 or 5 days before that Royal City Rumble. And we're doing all the promo work. And remember I had to go down to CBC and we had to do that one thing. And then I see Johnny, and I think it was in Palm Springs or he was somewhere with his family. And he just kind of let his beard grow out.
Yep.
Right?
I did see that.
Yeah, I remember. And then I think I was with you and Chelsea, and I'm like, hey, this beard looks pretty badass. Right? So, message him. I'm like, hey, Johnny, is it possible you can just, keep that beard for a few more days? I get the message back. Of course. Right? And it's awesome because it looked all fantastic there. But I mean, here we are almost a year later, and this man still got that badass beard.
He does.
Because
he's become a real boy now.
Well, he's the Royal City Defender, baby. He's our mayor. He's our leader. Look at him. Right? So I just thought that was really cool. Look at him pulling Azim and Rise Again over here. AKA a hair color for men.
We're not going to play the whole match, but yeah. And here's give him the TransLink chair. I love it.
Are you able to afford this? Where they don't need to see Mr. India right now. They need to see the mayor.
I can't.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, but this was so cool. And this, the best part is, we're talking about the Royal City Takeover, doing all that, but it really led up to this. And this was not just one of the biggest wrestling shows, but probably one of the biggest events in Westminster's history.
God, they really beat you up, didn't they?
I know. I got my butt kicked.
Yeah, it was just
what the heck? like it says defender on my butt. Like, look at my partner's like, is my partner like, oh man,
we'll just stop it there. I'm just going to stop it.
That's actually, it's right there. That's where it is. Is that, oh, you stop it there.
I
just
stopped it right there. I'm going to
that was the Johnny X. Like that was his big moment.
So, yeah, you just want to bring free entertainment to everybody then, eh?
I don't think it was just like free entertainment. I think it was just, something different and where you can bring everyone together. And it wasn't just like, free entertainment. Like, we were connecting the community with our local businesses. And one thing I've always said is, why are we going outside of New West? Like, why are we going, like, if you need a product or a service, you don't need to leave your city. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I feel like, folks are leaving the city is because they don't know that product or service exists. So if we can just kind of connect and kind of say, hey, yo, let's keep the money in our city and like, let's get stronger together. Right. So that was one big thing with Rose City Wrestling too. So it wasn't just the entertainment factor. It was just like, yo, let's come together closer as a community. Let's take care of each other, our businesses, our people.
We did with Stephen O'Shea and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I still feel like New West is still on a weird, you don't know when things do happen anyways. So, but that's a different discussion.
I've got some ideas and you're absolutely right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Maybe we can change that, Daniel.
I want to dedicate some, I got questions apparently.
You have questions?
I got to reload here. Reload.
Do you need my shades? Do you want to like change glasses or anything?
People are laughing at Azim like they should be.
They should be. That's no good Azim.
Dustin, what was the question? You might as well just tell me because I don't know. I don't see it. You don't have it now? Oh, okay.
You can always
I apologize. If you shout outs. Sammy.
Hi, Sammy.
Sammy.
I like Sammy. Hi, Amanda.
Amanda. I said Amanda. Thank you, Amanda, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Absolutely.
This is definitely the most unorthodox show that I've run.
Unorthodox is way more fun. My question is, like, are you able to like put this on a separate tab so I can see what's going on too and I can say hi to people?
On stream, I try not to because it like makes this machine clog up.
Got it. Cool.
The stream will come out all choppy and we don't want that.
I apologize. No worries.
You can see here, though.
Oh, look at that. Thank you. Woo, look at that. Hey, it's us. Aww.
There you go. Okay, so I want to spend some time. So you went back
Sammy.
after RCW. You thought about going back to your roots, which is Koyabell Fitness. When did Koyabell Fitness come into fruition?
Oh wow.
We're gonna go back, and then I'm gonna fast forward. So we're not the whole scope. I just want people to have an idea.
Yeah, for sure. It was actually a while ago. I mean, many years ago, when I first started wrestling, I was doing the Prince Aladdin. That was my character. That was my quote gimmick, back then. And then I got hurt. I had to take some time off of wrestling, and at that time, I was doing the personal training thing, right? So I was personal training, and that was like my main kind of job. And then I got hurt. It was actually a really bad injury. It was concussion. That's when they broke my orbital bone over here. They broke my nose, and that's when I was told that I wouldn't be able to wrestle. And it wasn't too long after that where I found out that my mom had a tumor growing out of her ear. So it was right between the area between her brain and her ear, and it was growing in size, and it was getting larger and larger. And they pretty much said she's going to have to do surgery, and the surgery either is going to leave her paralyzed on the one side, or she's going to be dead. And I'm like, yo, I don't like either one of these options. So to make a long story short, that's when I kind of figured out all the stuff that we're doing in Koyabell now, Daniel. Right? So I had my mom training a certain way, because up until this point, I was always one of those gym guys. Always one of those, hey, let's do this supplement, let's do that supplement, because that's what it says in the bodybuilding magazines.
That's what being a wrestler is.
That's what being a wrestler is, and that's what you got to do to get huge. Yep. And you got to bulk up, but now I'm going to lean out. Well, there was never a lean out phase for me, right? Take a look at the pictures. It's not good. But anyways, so I started changing it up, and I started doing my research, and then I started looking at the natural way of doing things, and what can actually bring down cancer cells, what can actually do to turn this evil disease around. And I figured out things about alkalizing. I figured out things about hormones. And to make a long story short, we were able to, just through everything I taught her, we were able to shrink that tumor along with radiation enough where she did not need the surgery. So she can't hear out of her left ear, but we'll take that. She's with us, right? And this was years ago. So for me, up until this point, they told me I couldn't wrestle, I couldn't do this. I was getting on the treadmill, and I was passing out because my heart rate would get so high, and I would faint, and it was bad. And, and this was making me sad, of course, because, I'm used to doing things a certain way and I can't do this now. And, but anyway, so all the stuff that I did with my mom, I started like using on myself, right? So I started training with kettlebells. I started like, doing things a different way. And all of a sudden I wasn't fainting anymore when my heart rate went up, right? And I wasn't doing like, any of the things that I was doing before. I completely changed it up. So I'm like, okay, well, let's get in the ring and let's give this a try. And next thing you know, like, I'm hitting the ropes and I'm rolling and I'm not getting dizzy. And that's how I came back to wrestling. And this is what I started doing, like, with my clients. And that's pretty much how Koyabell was born. Right. Okay. So it wasn't like everything, it wasn't anything that I learned when I took my training courses, when I took like, all the ones you're supposed to have to be certified. It wasn't any of that. Right. I had to figure things out because I used like what worked for my mom and then like, what worked for me. And basically it was just all natural. And I was just combining a couple of different things together. And it was never just like, the whole fitness part. Like there's other things too, like, and it's not just nutrition, but we got things that we can't see. And these are our cells. And we never like, think about our cells, we can't see our heart, but we're always say, hey, we got to do cardio. We got to take care of our heart. I know I got to do cardio because people always talk cardio. Right. And the other thing is our brain. Like, we're always on our cell phones. We're always stressed out. And this is a challenge because a lot of folks are like, man, I still got this last 20 pounds and I just can't get rid of it. Well, it's because, your levels of stress are way too high. You got, something called cortisol. And these are things that I had to learn about, right? I never knew. Nobody ever taught us. They don't teach you this, like, when you want to become a trainer and all this jazz. But this is the stuff that I figured out. And then, you factor this in, and when you put like several things together, amazing things happen. And that's what happens at Koyabell.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. And where are we at now with Koyabell? Is it okay if you want me to bring up the page yet?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Bring it up, brother.
Okay, there we go. It's up. So tell me what's happening here. You are looking for specific people now.
Well, up until now, like, we had like lots of people come and go at Koyabell. And, I think I had that kind of thought where like I could help everyone. Mm-hmm. And, I wanted to. And we did that for like, 6 to 8 years, but there was never really any consistency. There wasn't, just our main students obviously stuck around, but it was a lot of like, coming and going. And
it was.
Anyways, yeah. And I didn't want that, right? So that's when I told you, I told Chelsea, I'm like, enough's enough. And this was like pretty much, what was it, October of last year? Right? I said, yeah, October, November, something like that. And I'm like, what, forget this noise. We run 4 classes at Koyabell, 3 days a week. We got a 10 a.m. class, a 5, 6, 7. We can easily put like, 10 people in each class. Why not just have the same 10 people every single time? Mm-hmm. They grow together. They get stronger together.
It's true.
The camaraderie is there. And when you have like, somebody new kind of coming and going, it just kind of screws up that chemistry.
It does.
And you can't really actually build upon what you did the day before or whatever it is, So this way, like, we can actually progress better. So anyways, that's what I told Chelsea. I'm like, hey, let's just work with 40 people. I told you the same thing. And talk to our students. So pretty much 23 of our students stuck. And what it is we're looking for commitment.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to be joining Koyabell, I want you to be there, and I want you to be there, number one, for yourself. But number two, like, be there with your teammates. And the thing is this, you got to ask yourself, like, what you've been doing up until this point, has it worked? Has it worked? Right? If you still have that extra 30 pounds, that extra 50 pounds, and you've had that 50 pounds for the last 10 plus years, call it a hunch. What you're doing is not working. Right? And yeah, and this is one of those things. And at Koyabell, my whole thing is this. The majority of us, we have a belief system. I believe I need to go to the gym. I believe I need to eat 3 times a day. I believe I need to go to work 9 to 5, whatever it is. That's the belief system. I don't abide by the belief system. I go by something called the results system. And with the results system, like, at Koyabell, we measure. I want to know, right from the beginning, like, what your physical body measurements are. But at the same time, like, how much can you push? How much can you press? How much can you pull? Right? And then we measure and we measure and we measure. And if you're not progressing, I want to know why. Right? Fair. So this is the way we do it. So I'm all about results. I'm all about measurements and, in different areas. So that's what we really do at Koyabell. And so what I want this year is we're working with 40 people and I just want 17 more. And this is what this page is all about. So if you take a look, that's the amazing Chelsea over there. That's me from a while ago. All right.
Still is.
Yeah, it still is. There's Mary. Like Mary had an amazing transformation. She's still crushing it over here. Here's a teacher. She's not just a mom. She's a grandmother. Yeah. And this is what I love is like, they're getting stronger, Daniel.
They are. I mean, Anna's one of the.
Anna's been there forever. Anna's like one of our first students, our team captain essentially. And Anna just crushes it. And you know how it is. Like she gets in there and she makes sure if you're not doing your burpees, she gets on you.
She calls right?
And it helps. And that's that positive motivation. Look at Chantel. This lady's like 71 years young, I believe.
Yep. And still going strong. And of course, you made a point to want to talk about Steve.
You know what, Steve? Like I've got probably he's one of my top 5 transformations. And Steve is something truly special because I remember when he first came in for his intro, we always ask you what's your why? What are your goals? Why are we doing this? And his why was his daughter, Katie. And, he's taking care of Katie and just wants to make sure that he's around and, there for her 10 years from now and 50 years from now, right? But just go back to Steve for a second, brother.
Yep.
Like you take a look at him, that's in less than 10 months. This man lost 130 pounds. And that's just 130 pounds on the scale. That doesn't really factor in the muscle that he put on. I mean, take a look. It's just absolutely amazing. So absolutely one of my favorite transformations. And local New Westie.
That's the amazing thing. And we got to almost wrap this up, but there's so much we still need to. We might go a little bit, 5 minutes maybe. Yeah. But because I want to get as much as possible. So what is it that what changed? How hard is to find the type of client? I don't want to say client, person to come in and do this?
Well, this is my thing. I mean, you take a look at traditional advertising and traditional websites and all that stuff. It just doesn't really work for me. And I'm doing this course right now where they're do these Facebook ads and blah blah blah. And I'm like, everything up until this point has just been one of those situations where destiny has kind of put things in front of me. And, and I feel it's the same thing with this. Why can't I simply just say, hey, this is who I am. I'm a coach at Koyabell Fitness, and I get you something called results. And I'm really, really, really good at what I do. All right. And I have an awesome team, and they're really, really good at what they do. And if you have 30 pounds or more to lose and you haven't lost it and you've had challenges and you need help and you don't want to be alone anymore, come join us. So I just want to find my ideal student. And I should be allowed because if it's work, I don't want to do it, Daniel. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm allowed to work with the people who really want to make change for themselves, who will really work, who will actually put in the effort, who'll put in the time, who'll put in the commitment. And that's who I want to work with because we're doing amazing things. We guarantee results.
I am a living proof.
Show your pictures.
At this moment right now, it's not living proof. But I mean,
you're still looking good, brother. But pull your pictures up. Pull your pictures.
I'm actually top here. I'm at the top of the screen here, so we'll just scroll all the way up. So actually, right there, yeah. So that's Anthony. A couple. Adrian is another one. But yes, if you see real quickly, you'll see a flash of Daniel. Actually, this is breaking kayfabe real fast right here. Boom, right there. It wasn't even that much it wasn't that huge of a transformation, but I mean,
are you kidding? You had a huge transformation. How much did you weigh when you came in?
It was about 270 pounds.
270
pounds. So there's
a
better picture.
Yeah. So there you are. I mean, are you kidding, brother? That's a huge transformation. I mean, that is so inspirational because I remember when you came in, and this is the whole thing with Koyabell. We're not a gym. How much I dislike gyms. Like at Koyabell, we're a family. It's love and caring. And there's no gym shaming. And we take care of each other. The only person you compete with is yourself. And you take a look at you, when you came in, you weren't able to swing a heavy bell. No. You were barely able to do any burpees. You weren't doing anything. You just had stuff going on in your life, and which got you to this condition. And I say condition because it's a condition that can be cured, obviously. Look at you here in your after picture. So you weighed how much in that first picture?
I think around 260, 265, something like that, yeah.
And now tell me your weight in the second picture, because this is the best part. Your weight didn't actually change that much on the scale, correct?
It did. But so what I like to say is it dropped to 215, 220. Yeah. But it hovers around there now. That's what the muscle and all that stuff. So, yeah.
And that's where I was going with this. Yeah. And because you put on so much lean muscle, and that's what we do at Koyabell. To me, that whole scale weight thing, I think that's a joke, right? This whole BMI thing is a joke. And this is where, a lot of you may be confused. I like to simplify things. I love to kiss. Kiss means keep it simple, superstar, right? And that's what we do at Koyabell. And the nice thing is all you have to do is show up. Commit yourself one time a week, one time 3 times a week for 1 hour. Yeah.
3 times.
I know, that's how good we are. No, you do that. And then pretty much for 1 year. And then you don't have to think about a thing. And think about that. Your stress is gone. You don't have to worry about a thing. But these results it's not going to take you a year. Literally after 3 classes, you're going to be seeing substantial difference. And this is why, does anybody else guarantee results?
I would like to say they try.
No, but does anybody actually straight up guarantee results? I'm telling you, if you're not getting the results after 90 days, we give you your money back. Straight up.
That's a bold claim.
That's not a bold. That's just what we do.
Like it. No,
yeah, that's what we do. Because you know what? Every single person gets results with us. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, we're batting 1,000. Think about that. We don't lose. I don't like losing. I love to win. Winning is fun. And our whole team, that's what we do is we win, win, win. And if you're not used to it, you will get used to it. So that's what we do, brother.
You will be. I think that one of the amazing things that I did find there was, and I know you say the only person to compete with is yourself.
Yeah.
But for people like me, I am a competitive person by nature.
I heard about your softball team. We won't go there. Another show.
Okay.
But you got to bring up old stuff.
Always Anna was always there. Brian Buff was there, and they just keep you going. Chelsea was my training partner for a good better most of the year.
You should see our new crop of coaches. We just had an amazing training yesterday morning. We got Sam, Nigel. These folks are absolutely amazing, and Parb, right? And Maymay's back. It's so good. The future is so bright. And amazing things are happening because, the reason why we're only taking 40 at Koyabell is because we have a small studio. We can't really fit more than 10 people. And my whole thing is I don't really want to work. I don't believe in it, right? And like I said, getting past that, it becomes work. I love what I do. I love helping people, and I love these transformations, and I love putting smiles on people's faces. But, it's got to be people who are committed to wanting to do that, right? And then all of a sudden, if I'm doing this 80 hours a week, now it's not fun. And already, when I'm in front of the computer, I'm doing things I don't like doing, but right now I just have to do it.
Yeah.
But then right now,
I know you hate technology.
Oh, I do.
It's so funny. At the beginning of the show, I talk technology, and then here's me denouncing
I'm the one that you want to bring on to this show.
We have to wrap up.
Do you want to talk really quickly about all right, there's a reason why we want 40 awesome Koyabell students?
Okay,
because
go ahead. Do the thing.
All right, so this is just it. With World City Wrestling, this is our goal. I do want to, and I'll talk about this right now because I love talking things into existence, and Daniel knows this, Chelsea knows this. I'll only talk into existence if I have an actual path to get there and steps that we can actually accomplish. All right, so in my mind, I'm thinking, because we've already done all this amazing stuff with New West, why don't we do this, Daniel? All right, let's do a little challenge towards the end of the year. I'm kind of thinking we do the Rumble during November. Okay. It'd be really fun, around September, where we do a challenge. But not just a challenge just for Koyabell students. A challenge for the entire city.
Oh.
The entire city of New Westminster. All right?
I'm into it.
Because I know what we can do. I've seen what we can do as a city. Right? So I'm kind of thinking a challenge that says, hey, we are the fittest city in all of Canada.
What, the fit? You're talking be fitter than Burnaby, Vancouver.
Not just Burnaby, Vancouver. I'm talking about all the way in Nova Scotia. I'm talking, man, Winnipeg. I'm talking Edmonton, New Westminster, the fittest city in all of Canada, and we're going to prove it. And so we do a little challenge. We get all of us on our app. You and I will go and do workouts from different areas of New West. We'll go to City Hall. We'll go to 7-Eleven, whatever it takes. We'll go to Anna's restaurant. All right? We do something fun this way. Have 20-minute workouts. Don't even need any weights. It's pure body weight. Follow everything on the app. You take your pictures. Like I said before, it's all about results. We do that. And I've already talked to the city, and what I really, really want to do, and I wanted to call it a health festival. Obviously, we're not going to make it this year, but I'm thinking for 2021, why don't we have our own street festival?
I agree.
We put a ring smack dab in the road, which you always do, but this one will be on 6th and 4th, right? And it can be hey, we're us. We're the fittest city in all of Canada, and you got to say it like that, all of Canada. Right? And then we kind of celebrate our success, because the thing is this: when you have the results, when you have 1,000 people who have dropped this much or done this, and actually say hey, I feel so much better, and I have so much more energy. I'm sleeping deeper and all these things. And now people are going to come to find out to New West, what are these New Westies doing? And they come to our city, and This is what my vision is for the next little while.
That will just be perfect. The first capital city of BC, Victoria.
New Westminster, right?
The real, New.
So do we have to like go take out Victoria or what's
I don't know, we could. Also, the first place where gold rushers would go before they went up north to go to get gold. 3, one of the biggest places that hold pride, like festivals or parades, bigger than Vancouver.
Yeah. And the biggest recovery day in all of North America.
Recovery day,
right?
Now will be the fittest New West. New West is just getting put back onto the map, and I think that's where it needs to be.
Well, you take a look at all the talent there. You take a look at the leaders, but it's the people.
It's
the people of New West, and you know how it is. Like we've had the privilege of performing in front of them, being with them, even just walking up and down 6th Street in our costumes.
They're great.
It's good times.
Where can they find you if they want more information?
So if you want to join Koyabell, you want to be one of our 17, you're like, hey, you know what? These guys sound like they're pretty cool. It is koyabellfitness.cool.cool/New West or /apply now. One of those will work.
I will put that in the description after everything is said and done. Mr. India, Rish Koya, thank you. It's been a pleasure having
Brother,
you
thank
on the
you.
show.
Thank you for having me.
I would
so get you back on the close look, and we'll do one of these. We'll do one of these, and then we're going to look at each other, and we're going to...
All right. And then we can't really, but we can...
We can, sort of.
Simulate it.
Royal City Defenders.
There we go. All right. Ending the show, of course. We got to do it. Dustin, hang on. Let me turn you up. Go ahead.
This program is sponsored by Surrey Honda on 152nd and Fraser Highway. For the latest deals and excellent service, check out surreyhonda.com.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a good night. I'll see you next week. Watch that Sony Xperia thing.